Welcome to the Amphenol Broadband Solutions product training on the Microduct Manifold. In this training, we'll explain what is a microduct manifold, show what's included in the package, we'll show how to install the microduct manifold, and show a few different mounting options. The microduct manifold is used to organize and secure microduct tubes. The innovative design of this manifold achieves strong and consistent tube retention force across all tube positions. The manifold plates stack vertically on top of each other to minimize the footprint on the wall and to provide stability. The manifold plates come in two sizes and can accommodate both 8.5mm and 10mm or 12.7mm microducts. Microduct manifold kits have been created for both 24 and 72 tube installations. Other kit configurations are available upon request. Manifolds can be installed side by side if higher microduct capacity is needed. The cover is included to maximize fiber protection as they transition from the microduct tubes to the wall mount enclosures, which provides seamless protection for customer installations. The label applied to the cover helps to deliver installation efficiency by providing visible identification for all tube positions. The microduct manifold is designed to seamlessly interface with multiple Amphenol Broadband Solutions wall mount enclosures, such as the fiber demarcation box, fiber splice boxes, and slack storage boxes. It will also interface with a variety of other wall boxes available on the market. The package comes with all the parts you need for a complete installation: a set of microduct manifold plates, microduct manifold cover, mounting screws to secure the first manifold plate to a solid surface, manifold bolts to secure each manifold plate to each other, a cover label to provide a visible identification for all tube positions, and installation instructions to guide you through the installation process. Let's take a look at the manifold plates. Each plate has 6 slots to accommodate the microducts. There are 3 mounting holes and 3 threaded net inserts. As the plates are stacked, the next plate being installed will be rotated 180 degrees, so the mounting hole on top will align with the threaded net on the plate below. On the bottom of each plate are microduct tension nubs. These achieve a strong and consistent tube retention force across all tube positions as the plates are bolted together. On the 8.5mm and 10mm microduct plates, each slot will accommodate either an 8.5mm or a 10mm microduct. Since it can accommodate both size tubes, the center of each slot is narrower to accommodate the 8.5mm tube and creates a ridge where the 10mm tube will stop. We'll look at this closer in a couple of slides. There are interlocking alignment tabs and slots to ensure the plates line up securely when stacked. The tabs on the plate being installed mate with the slots on the plate that is being installed too. This ensures the plates are perfectly aligned. The microducts slide into the microduct slots. The 12.7mm microduct will slide all the way through the slot. The proper length would be even to just past the end of the plate. With the 10mm microduct, it will only slide in about a third of the way into the slot. Since this plate accommodates both 8.5mm and 10mm, the center of the tube slot is narrower to tightly secure the 8.5mm microduct, so at the transition point between the two diameters, there's a ridge that is formed, so this is as far as the 10mm tube can be inserted. As with the 12.7mm tubes, the 8.5mm would be inserted even to just past the end of the plate. The microduct manifold cover protects the fiber as they transition from the microduct tubes to the wall mount enclosure. The fibers are protected from the side with the side panel. The open side section of the cover allows routing to a common port if placing manifolds side by side. There are 3 sets of mounting holes to allow the cover to be mounted to the top of the manifold plate. Each set has 2 holes. This allows the plate to be mounted flush with the end of the manifold stack. This will become clearer as to why when we do the installation. The bottom mounting holes when looking at the plate from the bottom are chamfered. This is to accommodate a marker when using the cover as a template for drilling mounting holes. The label provides identification for all tube positions. It's a good practice to write the tube number on the label as each tube is installed. Next, we'll look at mounting the manifold plates to a solid surface and to each other. The first plate is mounted to a solid surface using the 3 provided mounting screws through the mounting holes. Later, when we do an actual installation, we'll go through the process of marking and drilling pilot holes. To mount the second plate to the first, we need to alternate the orientation of the second plate by 180 degrees. This lines up the mounting hole of the plate on top to the threaded nut insert of the plate below it. Using the 3 included mounting bolts, tighten the top plate to the one below it. Only moderate torque is required. Don't over-tighten them. Continue the process for each additional layer. A stack of at least 3 manifold plates is needed in order to install the cover. Each manifold plate can accommodate 6 microtubes by sliding the tubes into the slots. Repeat the process for each manifold plate layer. Next, we'll go through a couple of installation scenarios. The first one will be a new installation where the microducts are coming down from the ceiling and a fiber box has not been installed. First, establish the length needed for the microtubes by taking into account the height of the fiber splice and/or storage boxes that will be used. You'll want them to be at a comfortable working height and away from any obstructions. The height needed for the microduct manifold cover is approximately 4.5 inches. Once the length of the microducts is established, cut the microducts to length, making sure they are fairly even. Position the first manifold plate on a solid surface and using a level the plate. Mark the mounting hole locations using a marker through the 3 mounting holes. Drill 1/8 inch pilot holes and secure the manifold plate with the 3 provided mounting screws using a number 2 Phillips screwdriver. Once the first microduct manifold plate is secured, route each tube to the manifold plate. Push the 12.7 millimeter tubes through the manifold plate, making sure the tube is even or just past the edge after installation. If you were using the 8.5 millimeter and 10 millimeter plates, the 8.5 millimeter tubes would be even or just past the edge of the plate, and the 10 millimeter tubes, push them until they bottom out, approximately 1/3 through the manifold plate. Continue installing the next 5 microducts. Add the second manifold plate. The manifold plates must alter orientation 180 degrees with each additional manifold plate, so that the next manifold plate's mounting hole is aligned with the threaded nut inserts of the manifold plate below it. Secure the manifold plate by using the supplied manifold bolts, using an 8 millimeter or 5/16 inch nut driver. Only moderate torque is required. Do not over-tighten the bolts. Repeat the process for the remaining manifold plate layers. Next, we'll mount the fiber splice or storage box. With the manifold cover removed, turn the cover over and position it next to the manifold plate stack, with the top even with the top of the manifold plate stack. Using a pencil, place a mark 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch below the bottom of the manifold cover. Mount the top of the fiber splice or storage box on the line. Route the fibers into the fiber box entry port. Next, install a manifold plate cover with label. It's a good practice to write the tube number on the label as each tube is installed. The fibers are protected by the side panel of the manifold cover. Manifold assemblies may be placed side by side in applications that require a high fiber capacity. Mounting of the second manifold assembly is the same as a single manifold. The manifold can be placed directly beside the existing manifold. To avoid covering other ports of the fiber box, or to route fibers to the same port, center the 2 stacks of the manifolds with the desired port. The manifold cover allows for fiber jumpers to transition from one manifold to the other and into the fiber box port without any interference. For applications where the fiber box has already been established, mounting is simple. The microduct manifold cover is used to mark the mounting holes for the manifold plate. This is achieved by flipping the cover upside down with the holes towards the bottom. Position the top of the cover 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch below the fiber box. Using the bottom holes with a chamfered edge, mark the 3 mounting hole locations. Mount the manifold plates and install the microducts as in the previous installation example. Let's review what we've covered in this training. We explained what a microduct manifold is and its features and benefits, showed what comes in the manifold package, showed how to install the microduct manifold, and showed a couple of mounting options. Thank you for viewing this training on the Amphenol Broadband Solutions Microduct Manifold. For additional training topics, see our website at www.amphenolbroadband.com.